Domonos, E3-anos, EA Saxanos, Saxanos. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the memory of our dearly departed E3. We had good times with E3. We had some good times, there were some cringe times, but like all things, it eventually gets converted to digital. From a pandemic called Peroni Pandemic. Let's roll the montage clip.
If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game.
The legendary Red Guard Swordmaster, a group of dragon hunting warriors.
He is the producer of the game. Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Hey man, thanks Jesse.
Are you guys pumped for tonight's event?
Yes. Jazzed. Can't wait. Dude, stoked.
Welcome back to the Bethesda E3 Showcase, hashtag BE3.
Guys, the rumors are true. I knew it though. Come on now. After the GDC, that's right. GDC was actually cancelled. It was only a matter of time before E3 was gonna be no more.
Yeah, there were rumors circulating the last few days. It actually started out with Devolver Digital, of all companies.
Yes.
The indie publisher, offbeat publisher, the guys who put out Hotline Miami, etc. They tweeted out, cancel your plans for E3. And everyone was like, what the hell? The funny thing is, Devolver don't even go to E3. This is a true story, right? As a fuck you to E3, because they don't like how much they charge, they literally set up shop across the road from E3, okay, in a car park. And what the ESA did one year, this is a true story, is they hired white trucks and parked them in front of that car park so that if you, did you know the story?
I did not know this.
So that if you were at E3, it was harder for you to see the Devolver Digital stuff, right? That's what ESA was doing to try and get their vengeance. They were trying to block the view of the Devolver Digital car park with giant white semi-trailers.
I can imagine just the party at Devolver Digital, just like, yes, fuck you!
Yeah.
E3 is over! Because it may look, there's a lot of chances that it is over, but we'll get there in a little bit.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, that's where it all started.
It was.
Then Jason Schreier picked it up, did a
Correct.
tweet, and of course that just went viral.
Quite a few media people were speaking to their sources, and
Yes.
all of them were very definitive. They're like, yes, an update is coming tomorrow. The event is going to be cancelled.
Yeah, and we also saw articles coming out saying E3 cancelled. It's like, well, we don't know that yet. You know,
But where
they
was
were
that
coming
from?
out.
Where was that article from?
I
Let me look
saw
it up.
two or three of
Let
those.
me see. Ars Technica put out an article being like, E3 has been cancelled, and it's like, well, okay, cool,
That's right,
that's
they did.
true, but like, it wasn't true back when you said it. You know, it was
Yes.
just like perfect clickbait, because everyone's like, oh, it's been cancelled. It's like, well, you didn't have that information. The article was basically like, we've heard rumors, it's pretty clear it is. It's like, well, say that in the headline.
But after all these articles coming out saying it's definitely cancelled with no actual confirmation, the ESA now has come out with an official statement. This is what they said.
After careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9 to 11 in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles. So
That's how we say it.
It's official. Okay?
It is official.
And it is a huge precedent. I do not believe. You can tell me if I'm wrong, of course, which I'm
You're
never
always
wrong.
wrong, you're always wrong.
I don't think we've ever seen a cancelled E3.
We have not seen a cancelled
We've never seen a cancelled E3. It's in probably the weakest state it's been ever in terms of so many companies pulling out. So many people just not maybe seeing the worth they once saw in E3, and now for it to be actually cancelled, is it dead for good, everybody?
Well, yeah, this is the challenge. So E3 has been on the ropes for some time, separate from the Peroni virus issue.
Peroni pandemic. We can't say virus.
You did already have EA who pulled out of the event a long time ago, and
Yep.
they do EA Play. You can all but be certain that will also be cancelled. That was a 3-day
Sure,
event
yeah.
that ran prior to the start of E3, because EA essentially said, well, we don't want to do what you're doing. We want to have our own stage, our own sort of carnival of events. On top of that, you also had Sony pull out last year for the first time ever, and they've already confirmed they pulled out this year, before this announcement, obviously.
Yep.
So that was a huge loss. Jeff Keighley, one of the sort of gaming luminaries who runs the Game Awards, he pulled out very publicly and in a way that was sort of like he was sort of had a bit of an axe to grind because he was kind of
Yes.
retweeting the fact that he wasn't going to be there. He obviously had consulted to the ESA earlier, and those talks obviously weren't as fruitful as he hoped, and so he was it felt like he was taking a stand against E3 2020.
I don't think he was doing this because he felt like E3 was going to be under attack from Corona. I think it's a separate issue entirely.
Totally.
Unless he was just able to see the future and he's like, oh, this is not going to look good. I don't think that's the thing. Also, IM8-bit, that was actually going to be partnering up with ESA to work with them to reimagine E3. They also pulled out.
Yeah, that was the creative director of E3 pulled out like last week.
Yeah, so it just looks like on all fronts it's looking pretty dire, okay?
It is.
So for them,
pretty boned.
It's pretty bad at the moment, and then now for them to have to cancel and then try and come back 2021, because they did make a statement to GameSpot saying that they are going to be coming back for 2021, trying to reimagine E3 in new, interesting ways that the industry and gamers and blah 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 can be a part of.
Yeah, and that's where this conversation's really at now, which is like, cool, we know E3 2020 is dead. It's not happening, full stop, done. Is it coming back in the future? And I think there's lots of question marks around that. So Jason Schreier put out an interesting tweet some time ago speaking about this topic, and here's what he said.
If E3 2020 is cancelled and the video game publishers wind up doing digital events instead, I expect most of them to look at how little they lose by not being there and how much money they save, and follow Sony's lead in ditching E3 permanently. Big existential moment here. Very true.
That's true, I think.
True,
I mean, we already
everybody.
have the likes of Nintendo who do their Nintendo Directs. You have Sony has started doing its States of Play direct webcasts.
Yep.
Xbox does
its own thing in the
kind
Xbox
of thing.
Microsoft Theatre.
Not quite the same as that, but yeah, so you already have this move to these digital sort of presentations, and this year they're all going to have to do it, and they're all probably going to see that, hey, the numbers are still really good, and they're probably going to space it out as well. Like, I don't imagine we're going to have one weekend where all the announcements happen, because at this point now, it's like, well, why don't I go a week earlier or a week later, and I'm not then competing for the airspace and the clicks and the eyeballs in that one weekend that everyone else is competing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing. I mean, the internet, YouTube or whatever, I mean, there isn't a greater place to get so many eyeballs looking at your products ever in the history of gaming, right? You're spending so much money to try and get a stall that only so many people are actually going to see.
True.
You know, let's be real. How many people last year it was 15,000 that attended. This year they were going to have 25,000.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to the amount of people that can just tune in on YouTube and do it that way.
Right.
You're going to save so much money. Every single company, from big, especially to the smaller companies, that this money matters a lot to them. They're going to see the value now of just knowing that they don't need to compete for some space that is, ordained, but really it doesn't really give them a lot of benefit.
So I think, I agree with the first part of what you said. I think the big companies are going to see that there's not a lot of loss for them, but I actually disagree with you. I think there's a lot of loss for small companies by E3 not happening. Because
in terms of the connections they make,
correct.
or having
the
indie booths?
Both. Because
Sure.
I feel like, right now, I know a lot of people are like, so glad E3's cancelled. We fucking hate E3. All the trailers are lies. It's all just cringe. And I'm like, I get that, but at the same time, I don't agree with that. I think E3, personally, is my favorite week of the year. One, because all the big game announcements happen, and that's my life. And two, like, I go to E3, and I go there and I meet people, you know what I mean? And that's a thing. Like, I know it doesn't feel like it's a thing, but face-to-face still matters, even in this industry. And the chance to go there and catch up with Corey Barlog or some journalist you've been DMing.
Corey does not like you. I know
or like, I was gonna fucking meet up with, I don't know, people. Do you know, I had plans.
Well, the
this
EA
year.
gang, just hang out with
this year
them.
we were gonna meet Angry Joe, we were gonna meet Yong,
Sure.
we were gonna meet Jake Baldino, probably other people as well. We
Sure.
had plans for that sort of shit, and we get to sit down with them, and that's a cool opportunity. That not existing is sad, and for indie devs, they rely on those sorts of face-to-face deals to make their business happen.
I think what I'm saying though is having a stall in the indie department and a couple of thousand people playing it, which is great. That's all well and good, but I don't think that's going to be a make or break of a game. I mean, even a couple of thousand won't play it, but when you're talking about the connections that you make, the people, the networking opportunities,
Sure.
that is of course going to hurt a lot of people that are wanting to get into the industry or are quite junior in it, or they have a small little indie thing that they've got going. There's no two ways about it. E3
up until the last 2 years was purely media developers and publishers, right? Everyone could meet and just hang out and get to know each other, and that I think is going to be the biggest tragedy of this. We loved E3. It was a meme, it was a bit cringe sometimes, but the energy of that place. For
sure.
The amount of,
It's amazing.
The amount of, you know, just like everyone's there because they love video games, and it's just great to be there.
And it's like, and come on, like, and if you'd had a webcast and it's like, now introducing Keanu Reeves, and he walks out onto the webcast, and it's like a white background behind him, and you're like, cool, it's Keanu on a screen. But when you're in the crowd, and even when you're seeing him walk out on a stage while you're watching it live on Twitch, that's just better than a pre-scripted webcast. I'm sorry, but it is.
And we were there, and we just like leapt to our feet with the energy.
God, love you, Keanu.
Yeah.
So like, all that's lost now for this year at least, and that's very sad. And I, look, I definitely hope it does come back next year. One thing that I'm hopeful though is that I'm hopeful that the ESA dies and that someone else does this. No, I'm being totally serious. If there's one silver lining about this, hopefully it creates some existential crisis and the ESA goes under. This is a garbage organization that has mismanaged E3 consistently over the years, that has lobbied on behalf of loot boxes and, anti-consumer practices in the video game industry. These guys have absolutely fought hard to protect that stuff. I have no respect whatsoever for this organization. And if they go the way of the dodo and a new organization pops up to create E3 next year or something similar, then I welcome that, because the ESA is garbage.
I think that there'll always be a place for gigantic showcases of technology and video game technology, right? I think you're right that we'll probably see a different way that it's presented, or maybe a different people entirely that take it over. Things like the Game Awards, I think they're always going to be there. Are we going to not see the Oscars if it was just cancelled one year? No, we're going to see that again because people like to celebrate art and all that kind of stuff, right?
And make political statements.
And that too, of course. So we are going to see that. It is sad though, but like the funny thing is we've seen Gamescom tickets.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Goes on sale the day.
Today.
The E3 says it's not happening.
Today I got an email saying...
Conspiracy.
Today I got an email from Gamescom. Buy your Gamescom tickets today, right? Obviously it was an automated message. Someone should have... No, someone should... That was clearly an automated message.
Out of the
someone should have put a hold on that.
No way. Out of the 365 days, this happens on today. It's a 1 out of 365 chance. Very low odds, everybody.
Oh my god.
There's no way.
And listen, if you've been to Gamescom, it
absolute cesspool, apparently.
It is. Oh, I've been to Gamescom. It is like a nightclub at 3 a.m. Everyone is grinding against each other, breathing on each other, touching each other. It's disgusting. It stinks.
It's a petri dish.
It is like literally a petri dish. There's the coronavirus is licking its chops. Being like,
pandemic.
Oh yeah, the Peroni pandemic is licking its chops as it looks at Gamescom and thinking, "This is my chance, baby." Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it. E3 cancelled this year. Stay tuned. Whatever's going to happen, though, we're going to cover it here. There'll be other press conferences. It's going to be massive. So
4 a.m.s for us.
It's going to be early mornings and late nights.
Late nights, everybody.
We love you.
We love you, and we love AdSense. Goodbye.
Nice.